The world as we know it can change at any moment, not just because we make new inventions or may have a pandemic interrupt our lives, but also because with each new discovery and finding we make, we change just a little bit of what we thought we knew. Whether that is finding lost cities in archaeological digs, finding explanations for strange phenomena, or answering questions that have long left us puzzled. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we will be taking a look at 3 interesting discoveries. Alexander the Great's lost 2,000-year-old city found by drones. Alexander the Great may well be a name that you are familiar with. The ancient Greek ruler was responsible for building a huge empire spanning Greece through to the northwest of India, one of the largest empires history has ever seen. He was undefeated in battle, has plenty of places named after him, for example, Egypt's Alexandria, and his empire is part of what made the Greek language so prevalent. For these reasons, he is often considered to be one of the most successful military commanders to be preserved within our history books. Not only has his name been stamped into history, but also into the legends and mythology of Greece under a number of myths and fables. In 2017, a team of British archaeologists working with the British Museum stumbled across a buried city we had not known about before. Tucked away in northern Iraq, this city, Qalat Darband, had simply been lying unnoticed. Archaeologists were studying over a series of satellite photographs the American government had captured in the 1960s when the site first caught their eye as a potential space for archaeological study. It then took a drone flying over the area, all fitted with a camera and equipment that could gauge the outline of the city to confirm the location of the buried city. John McGuinness, the archaeologist who oversaw the Iraq Emergency Heritage Management Training Program, a government-funded project, said that Qalat Darband had been a hustling, bustling, thriving city in the 1st and 2nd centuries BC. In this time, it had been covered, making the area relatively unsafe and unstable. It is only relatively recently that the site can reliably be considered safe enough to conduct archaeological digs. The archaeological team had decided to process the satellite images they were working from in order to exaggerate and emphasize any contrasts in the colors. This process is what uncovered a large rectangular shape that was presumably a building hiding underneath crop fields. The drone was then flown out to the fields of wheat to investigate. McGuinness summed up simply, the drone yielded excellent information. By conducting this analysis in the springtime, the whole site could be seen and taken into account. This project was the first time in Mesopotamian, Iraqi archaeology that crop marks were ever examined. The findings provided a relatively straightforward answer. Some of the crops were discolored due to their poor health. This happened to be in areas of the fields where there were buildings' walls beneath them underground. Qalat Darband is thought to have been a city established on the path Alexander the Great had walked in 3031 BC on his way to one of many undefeated battles he had. This one being Darius III of Persia, taking place in Gaugamela. The area has clear Greek cultural ties, though thanks to Alexander the Great's empire, that was true of many places. The Greco-Roman deities and roof tiles made from terracotta do suggest that the very first residents of the city had been Alexander's subjects, and then those of his successor too. Other buildings have been found as well, one of which has a fortified wall and stone presses used for making wine. McGuinness stated, "It's early days, but we think it would have been a bustling city on a road from Iraq to Iran. There is still a lot more research to come from this discovery, even years after the initial search, allowing us to confirm and adapt our impression of the impact Alexander the Great had upon ancient Greece." Mysterious shards of glass are strewn across miles of desert. About 10 years ago, throughout Chile's Atacama Desert, several glass shards were found, covering a large span described as a corridor of glass, reaching for 75 kilometers. There are simply too many shards of glass to be counted, though the strange fragments do seem to have a few sites they cluster around more densely. The shards are also rather varied, not uniform by any means. with some large pieces of glass reaching 50 centimeters across. Again, there is not a specific consistent texture maintained throughout them all. Scientists have reported that some features look nice and smooth, and others appear rough. It has also been said that the glass looks as though it has been folded or somehow manipulated to take a twisted shape, though, as we all know, glass really isn't malleable. Lead author and planetary geologist Peter Schultz, a professor emeritus at Brown University, said in a new study taking a peek at this decade-long puzzle, "Many have morphologies indicative of sliding, shearing, twisting, rolling, and folding, in some case more than twice, before being fully quenched. While we might have only stumbled across these desert shards 10 years ago, it has been predicted that they have been here since around 12,000 years ago, though we do not know what caused them to appear, nor exactly how they appeared. One of the first hypotheses was that the strange glass was due to a large meteor exploding inside Earth's atmosphere. A big airburst upon exploding then pushed the fragments of hot space rock into the surface of the desert, with the shards then melting the sand and soil upon impact. This theory does sound somewhat far-fetched, though in reality it really is a serious contender in explaining just how these shards got here. A few other places around the planet have also seen similar strange glass appearances, and meteoric explosions have often been deemed the most likely explanation. Why would the Atacama Desert shards be any different? That being said, there are some other explanations too. It is possible that these shards could have formed in a natural surface fire, hot enough to act like a furnace. While the other explanation is still being considered, Schultz and his team have said that the meteoric rock explanation is a more likely explanation here in light of their new study. The team collected more than 300 samples of the glass and examined them under an electron microscope using a method called spectroscopy to look at the chemical composition. The team says that this analysis has revealed there is something extraterrestrial about the glass, that it is not entirely from Earth. According to Schultz, this is the first time we have been able to provide clear evidence that some glass on Earth is the result of thermal radiation and winds from a fireball that exploded not too far above the surface. Within the glass shards, there were thousands of exotic mineral grains, rarely seen on Earth. Upon the odd occasion that they are detected on Earth, they have only been found in extraterrestrial rocks, such as meteorites. One particular mineral, extraterrestrial cubonite, has been identified in NASA's Stardust mission in 2004, which took samples from the comet Wild 2. Now, with the composition analysis completed, scientists have suggested that whatever it was that left those shards all those years ago may have had a similar makeup to Wild 2, with similar elements and minerals being within both. We might never find a specific answer to this question, though our theories do seem to be getting more and more accurate. Pluto's snow-capped mountains. Until 2015, we thought we were the only planet in our solar system to enjoy the gorgeous view of a snow-capped mountain. Though it turns out this pretty picture-perfect landscape has been observed on Pluto too. While these snowy scenes are stunning, there is something a little different about Pluto's winter wonderland. On our planet, the higher the altitude, the lower the atmospheric temperature, but on Pluto, the higher the altitude, the higher the temperature due to solar radiation. So if it gets warmer the higher you go up, how is there snow and ice on top of these mountains? An international team, led by CNRS scientists, began to try and get to the bottom of this mystery. They found that what we had thought was snow, not dissimilar to here on Earth, is frozen methane. Pluto's atmosphere is high in gaseous methane at high altitudes, a conclusion the team came to via a climate model. This means there is only enough methane to condense and freeze at the top of the mountains. At the lower altitudes, the air does not have enough methane in it for the ice to form. This same research answers another question, explaining why the glaciers on Pluto are thick with methane, unlike Earth's, which are water-based. There are, of course, loads of differences between our planets, and while some are glaringly obvious, others cannot be so easy to spot straight away. We are continuously able to find out more about our world, from hidden cities that hosted battles long ago to finding mysterious glass origin stories to searching for answers within our solar system. But what do you make of these interesting discoveries? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.